Hey guys, Gabe's here, and in this video today we're going to go ahead and talk about collecting and where to find the Peyote gang family cars. There are about 3 different ones mainly that I look for. That's because they're the only ones that are really worth any money. You can usually find the regular peyotes, but unfortunately they're not worth nearly as much. So, if I flip my camera around here for y'all, this particular one is the Bala's Peyote, which comes with various modifications. Now, this is my personal vehicle, so I did mod it out a little bit more. I got different rims, I got the specialty tires, and of course I've got that huge header there on my engine. However, the gang Peyote by itself does come automatically with the drop top. It does have the rear tire there. It also comes with the curb feelers, and it does have the Los Santos sign there on the back. Now, of course, let's go ahead and head on over there and see where we can find this sucker and see if we can't grab a few to sell. Now, the area of the map that you're going to want to look for these cars in is going to be right over here by Grove Street, not too far from where Franklin's aunt lives, which is about right over here. So I generally start right here in this area, work my way down this street, which is where all the Grove Street gang guys hang out. Then you cross this street here, go on across and go for it into this little cul-de-sac here, and that is where the Ballas hang out. And that is generally where you can find their peyote at. After that, if I don't find anything there, I go right back here to this street, come back over here, cross the railroad tracks, and then come over here into this particular area. And that whole area is actually pretty large, and the great thing about that is that you can usually find the Vagos family peyote there pretty often. In fact, it's the most plentiful one that I've been able to find, usually finding about 5 of those for every one of the Grove Street family and Ballas family gang cars that I find. So now we're going to cruise on through and see if we can find a gang family car here, which, again, the Grove Street, they do pop up from time to time, but as I said earlier, they're not as plentiful as the Vagos family. As you can see, since it only has that one stretch there, they're usually a little harder to find. Here we're going into the Ballas territory, and I honestly don't expect to find one out there, but you never know. Let's take a quick look. Now, this is another particular gang family car, not the one we're looking for here, but that's the Albany Buccaneer, which is still pretty cool, has a couple of modifications to it, but it's not worth nearly as much as the Peyote is. Still a cool car though, and it is something that you can actually take and stick in your garage if you want to keep it. So let's move on over to the Vagos area and see if they have anything a little bit better. Now again, that particular Buccaneer, it goes for all 3 of the families. One particular car that we might see out here in the Vagos area is the Banana. Now, the yellow one that we see out here pretty often, I just call it the Banana because it's basically a yellow banana. Pretty much everybody calls it that, so if you ever hear anybody say they found a banana, that's what you're looking for. And luckily, it looks like just from cruising around here, we've got ourselves a rare Vagos family gang Peyote. Pretty cool looking car by itself. Again, has the same modifications as the other cars do. The only difference, of course, is going to be the paint job. Now that particular one, if you take it on over to Los Santos Customs and sell it, it's going to net you about $13,000. Of course, unless you manage to damage it all the way over there, then you get slightly less. Now, if you cruise around a little bit more through this area, you might find some other cars, because they usually park them right here in this parking lot, which we don't see in here, and they also park them back in this other parking lot as well. Now, there have been times where I've seen a ton of gang family cars. Generally that happens a little later in the night, usually between the hours of about, say, midnight to about 4 in the morning. That's usually when you see the most gang cars out there. However, I don't really want to set a particular time on when you can find the gang cars, because I have come out here as early as, say, 3 o'clock in the afternoon and been able to find that Vagos Peyote that we saw earlier. Now, let's cruise back around over here, and it's probably despawned, but if not, you know, hey, oh well. And yep, just as I thought, it has already despawned. Basically, that's a sign that somebody got in their car and drove away. But that happens pretty often, so if you happen upon one and you want to keep it or you want to take it to sell it, grab that sucker quick, and either store it or go get it sold. Now, quick warning, there are a lot of Vagos around here. As you can see, they're all drinking and whatnot, and if you go and hop into one of their cars, they will most likely attack you. So if you're looking to grab one of these cars, your best bet is to take them out early. Don't just jump right in the car, because if you do, they are going to start laying into you pretty quick. Even if you have full health and full armor, there is a good chance that they will actually kill you before you're actually able to get out of there with the car. And by the time you respawn and head back over to this location, chances are the car will have despawned by then, and you will have lost all that money. So make sure you take them out quick, efficiently, then hop into the car and drive on out of there, hopefully without any cops. And interestingly enough, as you can see just from doing the cruise round, there's another peyote. Now, of course, it despawned earlier, but as I was thinking, it spawned right up again. Now, as I'd mentioned in the previous video, if you're driving around in a car that's either similar or the exact same type of car that you're looking for, the chances of it spawning are going to be a bit higher. As you can see, I'm in a gang peyote already, so it made the Vagos peyote a little easier to spawn, and as you can see, just in the last few minutes, we've gotten a couple of them to spawn. Which is pretty awesome, because again, if you didn't have one before, you could grab one, take it, store it in your garage, keep it, and then the next one you could go and take and sell. So just so we can say we covered all our bases here, let's head back over to the Ballas area and check that one more time. Again, I don't think we're going to see one there, because that one tends to be the rarest of the three that I've found. Thankfully, I did find one, as you can see, and I was able to keep it, and just as I thought, it's not here. So we'll head back over through Grove Street one more time. The green one is probably the next rarest one. As I'd mentioned, the Vagos one spawns pretty often. So we can head back through there and see if one happens to cruise by us. And the interesting thing about that one is that I generally see people actually driving them down the street, and they're not actually parked. So if you do happen to see one cruising by, try to hop in front of them, try to grab it, and then just drive away. But just as with the Vagos, if the Grove Street gang see you taking one of their cars, chances are they're going to open fire on you, and they may get a few shots off and possibly take you out. So be prepared for that. So it looks like that just about does it here for this video. I'll try to get back with another video on some rare cars and some easy money for y'all to make. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks.